103.2 Preston FM.
Keeping it local.
So there you are. If you like your pina coladas, maybe wait until next Monday, Bank Holiday Monday. And who knows, the weather might be kind to you and you could have a pina colada on the beach next Monday. Who knows? You're with Chat City, Preston FM 103.2. Thank you for being with us and keeping us company. And hope you'll stay with us. Preston FM 24/7. Lots of diverse programmes. It's a station to be with. Okay. Right now, are you eligible for free early education for your 2-year-old? To maybe answer the question and to tell us more, I've got Helen Armstrong from Lancashire County Council in the studio with me now. And Helen is a 2-year-old child strategy officer. So Helen, a very good afternoon to you. Really nice to meet you. Let me just turn your microphone up so I've got you nice and loud whilst you're with us. So maybe first of all you could tell us, what is free early education for 2-year-olds?
Yes, what it is similar to that for 3 and 4-year-olds. It's 15 hours of free early education that you can take in a childcare setting. And it can be taken in different ways across the week. It's 15 hours per week for 38 weeks of the year, so that means it's school term time, but you can take it and stretch it across the year as well. So it's available for 2-year-olds, but not all 2-year-olds. Unlike 3 and 4-year-olds, who all 3 and 4-year-olds get it, it's just some 2-year-olds. So yes, it's childcare in a registered setting. So it can be a nursery, a playgroup. Childminders as well, and I think it's really important that people know that they can use childminders for early education places, because they're all registered with Ofsted. They all deliver the early years foundation stage, so they are qualified. They run suitable childcare that really promotes children's learning and development. So yeah, that's basically what it is.
So the parent or carer, when you say that you could stretch it across the week or the year, you mean you can stretch the hours across the week and you can stretch them across the year so that they suit whatever your needs are and the needs that you have for your child?
That's right. You need to talk to the childcare person who's be providing the places and what they've got available. But the basic entitlement is 15 hours a week. That can be taken for 3 hours across 5 days, or it can be taken for 5-hour sessions over 3 days. And you can use it for full days as well, but you need to talk to your childcare provider and they'll be able to tell you what they've got available. If you would like, that's for term time only. So if it suits some people, if they've got older children at school, term time works very well for them. But for those that don't have that, this might be the 2-year-olds, their oldest child, they can stretch it across the year, but it means that they would be taking less hours per week. So it would be 12 hours per week, but then the children can attend during the holidays as well.
Right. Before we talk about eligibility, it's also then down to the parent or the carer or whoever that they can find their own placement.
That's right. I mean, we do have our family information service, which is, there's a telephone number and there's a website, so you can go onto that or ring them and they will be able to tell you where the nearest provider is in your area that's eligible to provide places. They do need to be Ofsted registered and they do need to have a good Ofsted or a requires improvement Ofsted. So if they need to have a good judgment, because quality is important as well in terms of providing that place for your child.
And at the moment we are just talking particularly about 2-year-olds, aren't we? This applies at the moment to 2-year-olds.
That's right. What I'm talking about today is about 2-year-olds because this is new. It's just come in as an entitlement in September for a lot of children, although there are some that have been eligible before, but there's a lot more children now that are eligible to take the place. But it is 2-year-olds that I'm talking about today.
And what about eligibility, Helen? Who is eligible to apply?
Yes, okay. There's 3 main ways in which you can be eligible. The first is if you are in receipt of working tax credit and you earn less than £16,195 a year. So if that's the case for yourselves, then what you need to do is take the letter that shows your eligibility to a childcare provider, and that's proof that you're eligible. So the childcare provider will then know what to do, they'll know what to look at, and they'll be able to tell you if you are eligible for that place. If you're already claiming childcare tax credits, some people already get help with their childcare if they are claiming working tax credit. If that's the case, then you would still benefit from the free 15-hour entitlement, because what it would do is lower your overall childcare bill. There is a maximum for childcare tax credit, which is £175 a week per child. So by having some of those hours free, it lowers that overall childcare bill, so you would probably still be paying less. And it means that you may be able to get more hours as well. So it's worth looking into, and you can contact the working tax credit people to kind of get that clear as well.
And they would actually give you the information that you require so that you know if you're eligible.
That's right. And you would need to inform them if you're taking up that entitlement anyway, because it would affect how they work out how much they pay you as well.
And what happens, say, if somebody is eligible and they take up that place? What happens then if the circumstances should change and they become no longer eligible whilst the child is too?
Yeah, that's fine. We don't actually, even if the circumstances change, whatever the change in circumstances, that place will remain for your child until they move on to the 3 and 4-year-old funding. So under no circumstances do we withdraw a place when one has been actually allocated for a child. So it's good news if circumstances change sometimes.
That's right, you never know, do you? And this was brought in September.
That's right. Well, there has been some, previously to this September, there was the other category of entitlement, which is to do with some, if families are in receipt of certain benefits. So that's really the workless benefits, and things like, I've got the list here actually, so just so I can be clear that I'm saying the right ones. Income support, income-based job seekers allowance, income-related employment or support allowance, and child tax credit if you're earning less than $16,190 and you don't get the working tax credit. If you think that you may be entitled under this category, then you can actually do an online check, and if you go onto our website, you can do a check and it will find out with your national insurance number. They will find out and send you an email back to tell you if you're eligible, and then you will get a letter, and that letter can be taken to your childcare provider, and that's proof of your eligibility. So that's the other category of eligibility, is to do with the circumstances that you may be in and for your child. So if you are if you work with social services and your child's on a child protection plan or a child in need plan, or if you're from a Roma traveller background, or you're serving in the armed forces, or if you or your child meets the criteria for portage services, which means that they have additional needs, they're all eligibility categories. So if you're not sure about that, you can contact our FIS number and they will be able to give you more information, or you can go to your children's centre, they will be able to give you information, or a health visitor as well. So there's people out there that can actually support you in finding out whether you're eligible, and it's worth just making that phone call and checking on our website. There's lots of information on our website.
And is it something maybe, for people who are listening at the moment and the child maybe is 2 next month or the month after, is it that they should be now making the enquiries? Because when could the child actually start with the free education?
Right, yes. So the actual entitlement starts in the term after the child turns 2. So if your child has turned 2 in this summer term, then they will be eligible from September. If their birthday falls between September and December, then it will be in the spring term in January that they can start the place. If you think you may be eligible under the benefits criteria, and you're checking online, we ask that you don't make that check until 8 weeks before you take up the place, because obviously if you found that you're eligible way ahead, then your circumstances may be changed before you actually then find out and take up the place. So that's important that it's 8 weeks. So if you think your child might be eligible from September, you can go online now and have a look and see if you're eligible.
And then the flexibility of the hours, do they have to register the hours, or can the hours be very flexible to meet the needs of the parent or carer?
I think it's really important that you talk to your childcare provider, and they will go as far as they can. They will be able to provide that flexibly, and they will work with you to suit your needs. And it really, it could be that if you're working and you need the most of the hours to be taken in within 2 days, then they'll be able to accommodate that. If they can't accommodate it and they really can't provide the hours that you want, then you will need to look elsewhere and find another childcare provider. And don't forget childminders as well, because childminders can actually provide more flexibility than a nursery can often do. So all the details about the childminders are on the website as well, because they provide that. Sometimes parents don't necessarily think of childminders in the first instance for providing that early education place, but for some children, especially young children when you're only 2, a childminder provides that kind of more one-to-one care for a child in a more domestic environment. So for some children it's better.
And what about, we've talked about what happens if circumstances change. What happens when the child turns 3?
Yes, well, normally in most cases you would be able to actually continue and use that provider for the 3 and 4-year-old provision. It could be that they'll move on to a nursery class place if your child if you would like them to go to a school and take up a nursery class place or a nursery school place, then that's possibly what you will choose. But in most cases you will be able to leave your child where they are. Even if it's a childminder, childminders can provide those places for 3 and 4-year-olds as well. And it could be if they're settled, that's what you would prefer to do until they move on to school, start reception class.
And for people who maybe are looking for a nursery or researching about a nursery, why is it good maybe that they do take up a nursery place for their children?
Yeah, I mean, research shows that actually for a child to access childcare, it actually really has a beneficial effect on their learning outcomes later on. So they do better when they go to school if they've accessed childcare. And there's also further research that shows that the younger they start that childcare place, the better. So at 2, it's a really good time to start. Children learn through play, and exploring. And actually within a childcare setting, you've got qualified staff who are able to actually plan and provide environments and toys and equipment and experiences that really enhance that child's learning. So they get to know your child, they get to know what they like, they get to know where they are in terms of their development and learning, so that they know what they need to provide to bring them on. Also, by accessing a childcare place at 2, if there are any problems that your child may be having, it could be speech and language delay, it could be anything that maybe needs addressing, then the childcare provider can identify that early. And the sooner you identify any problems with the child's development, the sooner you can put things into place that will actually support that and maybe mitigate that, and then they will be in a better position when they go to school as well. So there's all kinds of benefits that come from a child accessing childcare. It also gives you a chance to maybe spend more time with other children, maybe take up training, a bit of time for yourself. You also get to know the childcare provider, and it's a way in which you can actually have somebody else that you can celebrate your child's achievements with as well. There's that close relationship you get that is really a beneficial thing to a family. You can have support with parenting, because it's one of the most difficult jobs there is bringing up children. So having a professional that can support you if you've got any problems or issues or worries, they can be there to take you through it all as well. So it's brings lots of benefits.
And as you say, that's a nice way of putting it, of sharing the success of your child with someone else. That's a really nice way of putting that.
I think that's right, because they, obviously with your child going to a nursery or a childminder for 15 hours a week, that's a long time to be with them, and they really get to know your child well. So they can see all their achievements, all their development milestones, and share them with you and celebrate them with you.
And we do know for some parents, whilst a very happy time, it can be quite a period of isolation as well, can't it? So another reason.
That's right. That. So you come into a childcare community, really, you get to know other parents as well. So it's all about providing that support when your children are very young, because it can be very isolating if you're at home all day with them. So just to get out. But it's also there to support working parents as well. So it gives you that opportunity to maybe go out and get a part-time job or into training as well. So
And we've mentioned the website, so I take it that's Lancashire County Council.
That's right.
And we've talked about the Family Information Service of Lancashire County Council, who have information about various childminders, etc. And also people can look on there to find out, was that right, about their eligibility?
That's right. That's all on the same website. So if you've gone to our website, it's www.lancashire.gov.uk/childcare. And if you click onto the 2-year-old bit and or search for childcare as well as another link, you'll find all the information there. So you can just press the links and you'll get to the bit that you need.
And for parents who are listening at the moment, maybe with that child who is 2, just remind us of those eligibility criteria again, if you would, Helen, please.
Yes. So if you are in receipt of working tax credit and you're earning no more than £16,195, you would be eligible. And in that case, you would take a letter to your childcare provider, and that letter is what you receive from the working tax credit people that tell you your eligibility, and your childcare provider will take it from there and know what to do. If you're in receipt of certain benefits, that's the income support benefits. The full list is on our website if you're a bit uncertain. So you can go to our website and do the online check. If you're eligible, you will receive a letter. If you're not eligible, you'll receive a letter as well. So you will get the outcome of that check. And that letter you would take to a provider, and they would then look at that and know what they have to do as well in terms of registering your child. And the other, if you're a foster carer, if your child's on a child protection or a child in need plan, or if your child receives portage care, and that's for children with additional special education needs, and you would need to talk to the people that work with your family in those circumstances. So yes, that's what we're looking at now.
Lovely. Well, Helen, can I thank you for coming into the studio today? Thank you for telling us all about the free early education for 2-year-olds. Thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
Made by people like you.
Your community.
Your radio.
Your Preston FM.